And in just under 4 weeks, voters in 5 states will head to the polls for another round of primary elections. In one of those states, the issue of abortion is directly on the ballot. Scripps congressional correspondent Stephanie Liebergen takes a look at how the end of Roe v. Wade is impacting this election cycle.
Constitution does not confer a right to abortion.
When the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, it sent a jolt through political campaigns across the country.
As your governor, I will defend the sanctity of life, always.
The Supreme Court has taken away a woman's most fundamental freedom, control over her own body.
For politicians in the midst of their primary races, the opinion thrusts the already polarizing issue to the forefront of their campaigns. According to Ad Impact, candidates spent $4 million on abortion-related ads in the week after the High Court's decision.
What we want to do is just highlight how unjust this is, who this hurts, what communities it hurts.
Lucas Kunce is running for the Democratic Senate nomination in Missouri, and Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt, who's running for the Republican Senate nomination, was the first to outlaw abortions after the Dobbs decision came down.
I am humbled to be a part of this and the first Attorney General in the country to effectively end abortion.
Kunce says he hears national Democrats talk about abortion bans as an election issue for this fall, but he says this is something impacting voters right now.
Saying it's an election issue is crazy. Like, first of all, that means people are gonna have to win in November. And then it means that, we're gonna have to wait for them to get sworn in. And then they're gonna have to actually pass something. Like, that is a lot of damage. That's a lot of suffering in the next year when the power is actually there to do it right now.
In neighboring Kansas, the issue of abortion is literally on the ballot August 2nd. Kansans will vote on whether to approve a new constitutional amendment to remove the state's guaranteed access to abortion. Kyle Kondik from the University of Virginia's Center for Politics says the hot button issue could also be an important topic in swing states, especially ones where old trigger laws were put into effect after Roe v. Wade was overturned.
A couple states that come to mind are Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona that have old laws on the books. And those states all have competitive governor's races this year. There are Senate races in Wisconsin and Arizona. And so those are states that are politically competitive where this is going to be important.
But he says it's too early to know how much of an impact abortion will have on Election Day.
Doing with Roe v. Wade is one of the biggest developments we've had in American politics in quite some time. But at the end of the day, we have these things happen and then they don't necessarily change the overall political dynamic.
Abortion is the type of issue that often draws stark lines between Democratic and Republican politicians. But polling shows a majority of Americans are somewhere in the middle. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll found 61% of respondents said they'd be less likely to vote for a candidate who supports laws that ban or severely restrict abortion. But in a ranking of the most important issues, abortion comes far behind others like jobs and the economy. Stephanie Liebergen, Newsy, Washington.